So we had two events that happened over the past 24 hours in the Transformer world. We had the Takara Tomy Hobby Expo that happened on the other side of the globe in Japan. Not much there that was really shown that we don't already know about. The big takeaway from it was we had the combined mode of Menasor and, of course, Raiden there. And the Menasor, we got to see, at least in the combined portion of it, our first kind of look of an in-person Stunticon breakdown. There was tons of images that were taken, all of them, unfortunately, just of that combined mode, so we don't really have a good shot of the robot mode or the alt mode in proper, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get some new images of it. I'll cover it more extensively tomorrow on the Saturday night live stream for the Transformer Slag podcast, so just stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll get some better images maybe over the next 24 hours, and we'll jump into it. The other event that happened also was the Target retailer Geek Out event, which is, they've done this now for the past couple of years where they do big reveals of exclusives, very similar to the Walmart collector con that they do. And a bunch of pre-orders went up and they showed some brand new Target exclusive product in relation to the Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. And we have here today 3 items, 2 of them new, 1 of them a reissue, and the Buzzworthy line kind of exists for reissues too, which is a good opportunity for fans. These were items that we kind of knew about because we had listings back in early August of last year about some kind of Tra Bumblebee Gen SS Deluxe N.E.S.T 1. Like, we were discussing that, and we even had a SS Leader reissue that we had a listing for, and we didn't really know what those were, but now we know today what those are. And we have today to talk about the Transformers Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee N.E.S.T Autobot Ratchet Deluxe Class, and the Transformers Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee N.E.S.T Voyager Class Bonecrusher, also Target exclusive, and a reissue of the Leader Class SS44 Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime with trailer. Let's jump into these, make sense of what's going on, because there's a lot of funny stuff going on. So the first thing to take away from this is the number designation. We'll start with Ratchet, is Studio Series 96BB. The BB is always put at the end of these Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series related products. This has a brand new color scheme attached to it that isn't really, related to anything that was movie appearance. There is a fictional connotation to this with N.E.S.T, but it isn't something that really appeared in the movie. The Buzzworthy Bumblebee line, I feel like it exists to give us all kinds of alternate repaints and have fun with these molds and not really have to be grounded in anything that has appeared in fiction. That's why a lot of our toy exclusive stuff has appeared there, or box art exclusive, like the Black Arachnia box art, color scheme and everything like that. So this isn't really Studio Series being, hey, this is hard and fast and this is what was in the movie, so it's Studio Series related. It's just using Studio Series molds and having fun with them. The SS96 number kind of fits in. I mean, it makes me wonder how this is going to work out because, we have the crosshairs for Studio Series that's coming out that's SS92. The Last Night Hot Rod one is SS93. This might be a Cliff Jumper scenario where we had Studio Series Cliff Jumper, which was really an Earthrise mold, and that was SS86 13BB. And then they never made an SS86 13 no BB. I know this is a little complicated. They just kind of skipped it because we had Coronation Starscream Studio Series 8612, and then they just skipped the 13 and went to Junk Heap SS8614. So these guys might just be indications of just Buzzworthy Bumblebee exclusive items that have number designations that won't appear anywhere. Just wanted to cover that for just both the Ratchet and the Bonecrusher before we go deep into it. Just kind of to make sense of things, because there's people that read the numbers and go, oh, is this going to be coming out? So this one here is just a straight up repaint of the Studio Series Ratchet mold that we've had up to this point. I mean, that mold already, it's kind of funny, the history with that. Like the Studio Series Ratchet that we got in 2018, the Deluxe class, was kind of like it used the engineering and tooling of the original Dark of the Moon Deluxe class that we got back in 2011. And that Dark of the Moon one got tons of repaints, both in the Western market and in the Japanese through various lines. Transformers the Best, movie, all kinds of stuff. So they did this as a new tooling back in 2018, and then they repainted that one already 3 times. You had the original color scheme, you had the Dark of the Moon color scheme, which was more of a stronger Constructicon kind of green that they gave him, which was accurate to his Dark of the Moon depiction. And then we have recently the Transformers 15th Anniversary box set multi-pack in 2022. So already that one had 3 different repaints. Now we have a 4th one here, and this one is more, it invokes more of what we used to get with the old movie toys, where we would just get repaints that had a little bit of a story on the back of the tech spec and the copyright, and it wasn't related to what happened in the movie. It was just these little micro continuity stories of, well, why does Ratchet have a white color scheme? Why does Ratchet have, this color scheme? So this is a N.E.S.T Ratchet. If you want to really dive deep into it, like on the back of the packaging, it says Ratchet teams up with N.E.S.T to protect Chicago from the Decepticon attack. Now, Chicago refers to Dark of the Moon. Because they use the packaging background from the Dark of the Moon Ratchet from 2018, the second release from Studio Series, it kind of suggests that, maybe Ratchet adopted this color scheme at some point in this micro continuity during the Battle of Chicago during Dark of the Moon. Instead of having that more green color scheme that we have in the movie. That's it, really. It has the N.E.S.T logos on it. Very, very Transformers Revenge of the Fallen 2009, where a lot of the Autobot toys had N.E.S.T logos on them and stuff. So it's cool. It looks cool. Hey, it's a gunmetal black kind of Ratchet color scheme, which I'm pretty sure looks really cool in person. And I always say a black repaint looks awesome. It always does. So this one here, not much really else we could say. Again, it has the Chicago backdrop. It's a straight up repaint. It's going to be $24.99, the current deluxe price point in our 2022 inflation pricing. Now, the more interesting one of the two here is the Voyager class Studio Series 95 BB breakdown N.E.S.T version. Not breakdown, Bonecrusher N.E.S.T version. Now, Bonecrusher, there's a lot of conflicting things here. It's like, well, number one, he died in the original movie. So by the time N.E.S.T was even a thing in Revenge of the Fallen, how could it be involved? And not to mention, like, if this is supposed to be a complementary piece with, let's say, Ratchet, then did he survive all the way to Dark of the Moon and have that battle? And because this is just a straight up repaint and repackage of the packaging, the internal packaging of the original Voyager Bonecrusher, it has the background from the highway battle scene, and so because it has that highway battle scene, that implies that, well, I guess it's just, is it from the first movie, but then, there was no N.E.S.T in the first movie. A lot of funky stuff here. What it is in the end, and it's like I said before, it reminds me of those movie exclusive toys with those micro continuities. There was a deluxe figure back in, I think it was called the Allspark Battle. There was a 2008 Jungle Bonecrusher that came out. And in that bio, it pretty much suggested that he survived his encounter with Optimus Prime and then went into hiding in the South American jungles, and he adopted that color scheme of like the greens and stuff like that. So in those micro continuities, that somehow Bonecrusher survived and ran away. There was even a comic book that was done in Japan with Simon Furman that suggested, well, when Bonecrusher died, the members of N.E.S.T were going to take his body and dispose of it in Toronto, Canada, and then somehow, like, Skystalker, another toy exclusive toy character, saved Bonecrusher's body and brought it to Starscream and brought him back to life. So maybe it's part of that micro continuity. I think it was called Unite for the Universe story. You have to look that up. But so this one here too, also a gray gunmetal kind of black color scheme going on here. Looks really good. I like that original Studio Series Bonecrusher mold to begin with, so it's a fantastic, fun little mold. Now giving it this N.E.S.T color scheme, and you're going like, well, now he's a N.E.S.T agent? What's going on there? So on the back of the packaging, it says Bonecrusher is gathering intel on a reconnaissance mission disguised as a N.E.S.T vehicle. I guess N.E.S.T had construction vehicles on top of their military stuff, sure. If you actually look carefully on the deco, you actually have "All Hail Megatron" written on there on his body, but it's done in like code. So like the "all" is 4LL, so it kind of looks like an A. For all hail, like anything that's like an A would be replaced with a 4. Megatron is written M3947R0N. So it's trying to like show "All Hail Megatron" but hide it among a bunch of numbers and letters written on there. So that's a nice little touch. Again, a N.E.S.T vehicle, another iteration of the character in a micro continuity. There's so many different repaints of Bonecrusher throughout the years through different toys after 2007 that suggested that he survived in these little. There's like the Fury of Bonecrusher, which was a Speedstar RPM 2-pack that suggested, oh, he also survived, fighting Optimus Prime, and now he's hiding in the desert, and here's this light green color scheme. There's so many different versions. So I mean, like, because you know what, he was this iconic character that everyone remembers. When the 2007 movie was getting hyped up, he was in the trailer. It was this big thing. Oh my God, look at this trailer scene where this guy goes up the highway and cuts this bus in half. And then little did we know that literally that scene that we saw in the trailer made up almost 99% of this character's appearance in the movie. And so when we saw him in the movie, well, that was the end of that. His character model was used in the background of Revenge of the Fallen, but it's not implied that that was Bonecrusher, just they were reusing character models to fill out those Egypt battle scenes. And that was that. But yeah, it looks cool. I dig it. I think it looks nice. It's probably the more interesting of the two, in my opinion, but I guess I just have a soft spot for this character and design. He's a Voyager class, so it's going to be $33.99, and pre-orders are up right now. The last one we have here is a straight-up reissue. This isn't the first time that Buzzworthy Bumblebee has done this stuff. I mean, the Studio Series molds ending up in Buzzworthy Bumblebee usually have two kinds of ways. Like you have stuff like Cup, 86 Cup, that gets a brand new deco and does its own thing in Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Then you get stuff that's like Cliff Jumper, that was an Earthrise mold, but isn't Studio Series, but now it's going to be labeled Studio Series, so you get stuff like that. And then you get stuff like the High Octane Bumblebee from Studio Series that's straight up reissued in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line, just to give people another opportunity to pick up those molds. And so Optimus here is another case of that. Our Studio Series SS44 Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime with trailer. Again, that came out in 2019. It was a leader class, and now they're reissuing it so people could get another opportunity to pick up that version of the character. Also, it's a good chance because, when we're going to go into Rise of the Beast next year, we're probably not going to see that classic movie Optimus Prime mold anymore. So that kind of puts that out there a little bit. So if people don't like, let's say, what's going on with Rise of the Beast, they could go back and pick up that version of the character, and it comes with a trailer. So it's a nice little package. And again, it's a reissue. So people who already got it, already got their fix. People who missed out on it can now get a second opportunity. It's going to be $55.99, the new leader class price point for 2022 going into 2023. I dig it. Again, I like that kind of stuff just because sometimes you just need to give people opportunities to pick up stuff that they weren't able to get before, and especially leader classes that are a little more expensive. Number one, they're a little more expensive. Number two, there's not many of them out there in distribution. They come in 2 per case. Maybe a store will pick up only 1 case of leaders, and then that's kind of it. And then because they're expensive, combined with their lower numbers of them that might be out there in the secondary market or alternatively in the retail space, it gives people another opportunity. So I dig that too. Looks cool. I dig it. These are the 3 items. Again, it's very interesting what they've done here. But again, it's store exclusive, so you get all the weird kind of cool stuff through store exclusives. Again, I'm really digging the repaints though. Even the Ratchet, a black repaint Ratchet. I mean, I dig it. You put him next to a traditional colored movie Ironhide, and you got like the double dark, black repaint color scheme kind of thing going on. They look really cool. Almost like a Diaclone kind of thing. I don't know. I just dig it. I think it looks nice. Black repaints are always awesome. I don't know why. It always makes, I've talked about this with Aaron Archer in the past too. It's like gray and black always kind of makes the details pop, and you can't go wrong with that. Sometimes other colors like red and blue, it washes away the mold detail, but that resin gray or that gunmetal gray or the black always makes it look good, and that's awesome. Let me know what you think, guys. Pretty hype stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Saturday night live stream for the Transformer Slag podcast. Hope to see you there, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. See you soon.